This moment is brought to you by SuperNova. Welcome to another day, another wet, rainy day. Really don't have much else to do. We're kind of winding down this project, so we are just working on staging up what is left for the final push. Had to drill out some holes in the bottom of the seats here to fit my bigger lag bolts, which are around here somewhere. And there are these guys. Nice stainless steel jobs. And I was just getting some screws out for my fire extinguisher. Got something to do with the caulking over here. We actually got two things to do, where we had to take that light off and the whole mounting plate to put the side bolsters in. On this side we have to finish recaulking it. That side was not as bad. This side was no way possible I could bend that way. Maybe somebody who was a southpaw, but not me. And that's what we got for the day, sadly. I really want to start getting towards the end here. One thing we are working on, which is really exciting, is the final piece to this boat, and we'll see if that works out. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to another day. We got everything what I call staged up yesterday. You know, nuts and bolts and everything, and washers all sorted out. And I do that just for a day like today. It's one of those days where they're calling for rain all day. We haven't seen any yet, besides a small sprinkle this morning. So we are prepared to go out and tackle little projects one at a time and just start knocking them out. And with everything sorted out, it makes quick work of it. Our objective today is to put the remote knob, or the shifter knob, whatever you want to call it. We need to get it installed, and the trim wire is all wired up, all that tucked away. We don't have our solenoid yet, so we're not going to be able to play with the trim, but you know, as I said, I know the wires work because I've already used them multiple times. And then we'll just move on with the rest of the interior until it's finished up. Alright, that's installed. Works good, no problems. I really don't want to work it too much because it actually is hooked up to the linkage, so we don't want to be like moving the linkage back and forth and flooding the carburetor if there is any gas left in the bowls, and we don't want to be shifting it while the outdrive is all the way up also. I don't have my solenoid, like I said, so there's no real testing I can do with it right now, but one thing I can do is pick up all this stuff that goes with it. Yeah, all that for this one little install. But when you involve tools and electrics at the same time, you end up with a big pile. So I'm going to get rid of this and then we'll move on to something else. Got ourselves a little postponement due to rain. I'm hoping a little bit of that clear sky works its way over here. Maybe I'll be able to get something else done. But our fingers are crossed this will be a quick shower and we'll be able to work on a little bit more of the upholstery, but we'll see how it works out. Welcome to another day. Man, is that thing fast. It's a whole lot faster than mine. I have the old style pump, so they're a little slower. And when you put them on these guys here, because the cylinders are so much shorter, they really move fast. you're gonna have to have a sensitive finger when you're adjusting trim on this guy, which is fine because, you know, I mean, if you're into it like I am, your hand's on the throttle anyway, you want that kind of instantaneous reaction because the water can change real quick too. You know, just from making a turn going one way to going the other way, you're instantly putting your drive down or up or what have you. And it's really quick reaction time, really quick. But that moving like that means it's fixed and the handle works fine and everything is just great. As I said, I'm really winding down here. I think the next thing I'm going to do is I need to seal down the trim that goes around the bottom of the windshield. It tends to want to turn up a little bit here and there, so I'm going to seal that down and fix the wood piece that was holding the light on over here, because we couldn't get back here to tighten this bolt on this guy just because of what's behind the wall. So we had to take it out, and now we have to fix what was there. And it's been pretty overcast so far, which has been excellent. And it was a perfect time to go up underneath that deck and replace that solenoid. But this could only last minutes. Who knows? I mean, as I said, they're calling for rain all day. And now the sun just peeked out, and now it's gone again. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. You would be shocked on how much measuring and remeasuring and measuring again you have to do to get these seats semi-squared up. And there's really nothing to measure off of. So I kind of figured that I'd make where the points of it, where the frame ends for the hatch itself, I've used those 2 points, and I'm using the frame off of the center cutout for the gas tank. It's the only ones I've got. I mean, it's just there's nothing here. I mean, everything rounds up, and you know, if you go an inch that way or an inch that way, it's going to be a different distance between, you know, to and fro. So I got a couple yardsticks together and I put them across, and that way at least they're consistent going across. Then I measured from these 2 points out and made sure they were the right distance, so it isn't like the stick isn't cocked one way or the other. Then I just matched the toes up to it. Then I figured out how far I could get them over. And the real goal is there's a stringer in here about 10 inches off. The problem with the stringer being 10 inches off is it comes back to about here. That's where it starts, so I'd have to be over here, and that would end up putting the seat into the bolster, which that's not a good thing. So we're kind of stuck where we're at, but after multiple measurings and multiple switching around and kind of looking at it going, well, maybe okay, we're ready to mark some holes and do some drilling. Front seats and fire extinguisher installed.
Don't let it all fall down.
That's a tight fit. But that's the way it's going to stay. I guess the upholstery will kind of work its way out over time. And, you know, it's not perfect. It's a boat. It's going to get stepped on. It's going to get walked on. It's going to get all kinds of things on. And it won't take it long neither. But as of right now, everything I have in the garage is installed. And that leaves me to a dilemma, because without it, I can't do a test drive. I can't do anything besides take it and put it over where the 24 is and bring the 24 over here. I need a rub rail. I need one like this. I'm really not sure what the deal is. I mean, I had a deal with a guy in Florida for 1.25 inches, which that's what this is, but it was more half ovaled. Not a big deal. It was $265 for the materials, $600 to ship it, $580. I think they realized they screwed up on the pricing, so they were just going to screw me on the shipping. And no, I couldn't use any other shipping company but what they were going to use. So yeah, I figured I was getting screwed on that. I even been holding on to this rub rail that came with it. Problem with this guy is it doesn't have the insert. It's been beat up quite a bit. And on top of that, 1 or 2 pieces are broken. Yeah, there's a corner that was just broken in half. So yeah, I got a rub rail I can't use because, like I said, I don't weld aluminum, and to have that fixed and to put it on, it'd just be sad. We're still looking at around, I don't know, the average so far has been about $800 to $900 to go around this boat. And the only thing I have holding it together right now is some caulking and a couple of these screws that can kind of go every 1.5 feet or so. So it's not like I'm going to take this thing out and go pound waves with it with a deck that's, you know, barely holding on, because a lot of these things are just right down here at the bottom of the fiberglass. I need a screw every 6 inches, and yes, I'll be using probably number 8 screws, but I will be using them about 1.25 inches long. That way they'll go into the deck, go into the transom, or what, the hull basically. But as I said, at this point, with all the vinyl done, or at least installed, I do have one piece I'm kind of looking at. I may be tweaking a little bit, but there's no reason to fool with it right now. I want to let it settle out and puff up and do whatever it's going to do. And we just need a rub rail. We'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to another day. It's been a few days since we did our last update, and honestly today is kind of a bittersweet day. We're winterizing. Yeah, it's been, I don't know, 6 days. We've had nothing but rain in the low 50s. This first day it's gotten above 65, and the sun's been shining, so There's nothing left. This year has been terrible, and the spring lasted forever. Like the wet, cold part of spring lasted forever. It did make the summer bearable, but at the same time, it wasn't September, and it was already, leaves were dropping, and it was getting chilly out, and it went from, like, I don't know, 85 to 70, and it hasn't gone above 70 since. And it's just, so I'm done. We're done. I just took my insignia off the other side there. I need to make some copies for this one, and broke it. Not as happy as I could be. We've been busy though, I gotta say. Haven't done a lot of filming, as I said. I'm pretty much, this is going to be the final episode here of Raceboat Life, but we've been extremely busy, besides that one being totally winterized. What I mean by that one is the 1967 Nova 24 raceboat. We put the original intakes back on a K-Keeper 482s. When I say back, one was original, and it took me about 3 or 5 years, 7 years, whatever it was, to find a second one. That's been all installed. Had to replace the rear water pump impeller, not just maintenance, but it was working, but it wasn't working that great. And I did find every vein, which I was very impressed. Then there's this guy. Oh boy, it's been a challenge, that's for sure. We worked real hard on it, and did everything I could this spring before I attempted to even take it out, and then it just cascaded into a shit show. It just, wow. I've been out 7 times in this boat, and every time when I've come back, I've broken something, and something expensive. Let's start from the front. I did a whole crap load of new wiring. Everything's been shrink tubed. Everything's been new ended. Everything has been double checked on, making sure there's no crossing or anything like that. I had this bolster off, replaced half the wood in it. Wasn't really necessary to replace the rest because it is 10 foot long. I would have had to put a piece in it anyway, so I just moved the piece up further. Then replaced the shift cable in there. That's the reason why the bolster had to come off. As I said, it just kind of snowballed into a mess. And I looked at it and I thought, there's no way I'm going to leave that wiring, so I redid all the wiring all the way up to the dash. And then what I mean by redid is I got rid of anything it wasn't belonging and got everything else out, loomed up, and hangers, stainless steel hangers all the way up through the side. So that got everything from pretty much the dashboard all the way back. Did a whole new crap load of wiring back here and made sure everything was up to 100%, including some battery cables and all kinds of other stuff. As you can see right there, we have an Endobrock 800 AV2, just like the ones on the raceboat, also marinized, just like the ones on the raceboat, and dual feed. Yeah, gotten a little fancy with that deal. Had a real nightmare about carburetors. I have a 1413, and it's an 800, kind of the same thing, totally marinized like we did before, and they're having an issue with their accelerator pumps, and apparently the accelerator pump for that carburetor is only for that carburetor, and they're saying months and months from now. So months from now was not acceptable, and they didn't know whether that was even going to be true even at that point. So I ended up getting the new AV2 800, which I'm yet to use it because I've been doing all kinds of other things, and now that we've winterized, it's pretty much going to wait till spring. Where else do we go from here? Oh yeah, you can see we redid the exhaust. I told you I was jealous of this guy over here. I mean, that looks so clean, so clean. But so I ended up redoing the exhaust because I had it. I didn't have the elbows, but it was worth the purchase, trust me. And so we've got that done. And oh, here's a big kicker. I broke my 1.32 outdrive. Just a quick autopsy on my Volvo 270 with 1.32 gears. It is bad. It is real bad. We have carnage in there, all kinds of metal floating around down there, and in the process we have broken tooth, broken tooth, broken tooth, another broken tooth right here. That one didn't suffer nearly as bad as the vertical shaft actual gear did. Here's a whole tooth broken right off. And the conclusion is this. I was having some minor issues with the boat. I almost blamed it on that, but come to find out, right here, I have some nice new beautiful digs. And that's where the prop swings, because it swings real close to the skeg. And as I was slowing down, the gear set was laying off of one another. You know how it does, because the drive gear wasn't driving nearly as hard, so it was laying off the driven gear. And then I hit something, and that's when I heard bang, bang, bang. And that's the results. Yeah, I got something pinched between the prop and the skeg. As you can see, the prop comes real close to the skeg, and had some big gashes in the old one right there. And it made the unreplaceable gears destroyed. So that's parts of my Franken drive, and another piece I got from Washington. It's been a year, let me tell you. It's been a year. So, I mean, there's a ton more. As you can see, I've got the distributor cap and wires off. I planned on replacing those, like I replaced the plugs, and of course I did, you know, oil and all the rest of that stuff. So it's been a nightmare, but I'm trying to get this next spring started on the right foot. So I'm doing everything I can, including, like I said, if it means it's been winterized and I've got it open, I can pull this off right now and redo it tonight and then put it back on tomorrow. Yay, yay me. Did have a tree fall on the Beesmeyer, so I'm working on a 19 here. And I hear this crack, snapple, and pop. And I turn around and I see this. Beesmeyer's back there somewhere. I know it's sitting on a John boat. I don't think it hit the 19, the new one. Maybe. Yeah, this is bad news. As I said, the Beezy's back there. And I'm thinking the rest of it's going to fall on the Beesmeyer. And this guy, we're going to find out ourselves. So far. Ooh, a little bit there. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse. Yeah, that was a bit scary. It took a few days. It's boats, man, I'm telling you. And then, of course, there's the Allmand project. As I said, one of the reasons I was taking that off is because I want to get new ones for this. Because it's the only thing that's really left besides the rub rail. And the rub rail has just come down to money. I'm sorry to say it that way, but it's just true. And that rub rail, this rub rail right here, will end up costing me about $1,000. Yeah, that's a little uphill to swallow. I mean, I know I got more than that in this boat, but not just in the rub rail. And I don't really want to compromise on another one, because if I do, and then have that much money into it, which again will probably be at least 500, and then I'll look at it and go, man, I should have just dropped the other 500, you know, and not be happy about it. So I can't take it out, meaning I can't take it out for a test drive. But being that I had to winterize it, you can tell everything is 100%. I mean, it's ready to go. I just don't want to trust on these few, which weren't really tight. I mean, they were tight, but they're not like, you know, the holes are like 100% brand new and all that good stuff. It's mainly, besides sealing the whole top, which will hold it to a point, but not like, you know, bang, 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 and water comes up underneath of it. I mean, I really don't want to shift the top or break something or scar something, or even just chunk out the piece or something like that, just because of too much flex in the boat, because it's not screwed down. As you can see, I mean, there's a screw every 6 inches, and those guys are about 1.5 inches long, if I remember correctly. They go way in, and they connect, you know, A to B every 6 inches. So, I'm sorry, but it's probably going to be a number of months, because this is a project that I plan on going over the winter, meaning a money project, and also with the insignias. We also got a rescue dog a few months ago, British Bull Terrier we picked up in Virginia. It's just dishwasher classy. It's new. That's old. Virginia. So that adds to the complications of life at the moment. As winter approaches, raceboat life will come to an end, unless we have a big project. But this year we really don't. So we'll be packing it up for a few months, and we're going to get back at it this spring. As I said, we'll put money together and we'll get that finished up. And you don't think I'm going to leave this thing like it is for a minute. We did accomplish the electrical issue. It's 100% now. I will sign on a dotted line on that one. But the carburetor issues and the failures and the broken out drive, and I'm going to be looking for an out drive this winter. I know that. I want one that's all put together. Of course, there's my backup drive. The year that my backup drive goes on this boat is the year that my drive detonates. So there's my luck. But we thank you for coming along, and hope to see you when we come back. See ya. Rockin' night and day, yeah! Yeah, this all sucked. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, man! Dog bark, dog bark. Bark, bark, dog. And we're gonna install that bad boy. Oh, this is all horrible. Welcome to another day. All right, let's do this. Alright, this is the last time. Alright, ready, set. Then we'll cut to it. Okay, we're gonna fit this in someplace. Welcome to... Damn it. Fucking no better. As for this guy, it's... We'll wait on that. So, even though... Oh man, how are we gonna do this? Oh, damn. I'm sure it hasn't been the easiest. Let's do one more time. Ah, damn. Yeah, this all sucks.